Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Are you wondering how to do a pantry challenge? What is a pantry challenge? It's when you just eat the foods that you have already in your home. The foods in your refrigerator, the foods in your freezer, the foods in your pantry, and if you have a stockpile of foods that's stashed somewhere, it's a good idea to check those out because sometimes we forget the foods that we've stashed away, or we want to rotate them and include them into our actual inventory of the foods we have on hand. So the first thing you want to do is make a plan. How many days do you want to do a pantry challenge? Do you want to do it for 3 days, 7 days, 10 days? It's up to you. You set your own goals for your own challenges. Next, clean out the refrigerator and figure out what food is available there that you can use. Next, organize your freezer so that you're well aware from top to bottom what are the items that are in there. Nothing that's been pushed to the back, forgotten, languished too long. Anything that's spoiled, get rid of it, but then make a note of all of the foods that are available so that you can plan meals from those. Next, look over the foods in your pantry, all of your canned goods, packaged goods, even your baking supplies, and then you'll be able to decide what are the foods that I have, how can I combine them and make meals for my family, and that's what the pantry challenge is, making meals from the foods that you have on hand. Then just grab a sheet of paper and jot down what could you eat for breakfast every day? What could you make for lunch every day? What could you make for dinner every day? What can you serve for snacks? Everybody loves snacks, whether we want them in the mid-morning, mid-afternoon, bedtime snacks, however many you're used to, you probably will have some foods that are available to include on your snack list. Then implement your plan. Make those meals. Jot down notes. What turned out well or what didn't you like? What foods then do you need to buy more of to replace the foods that you used? You also then, it gives you meal ideas of going forward, what kind of foods you can have on hand in an emergency stockpile, your food storage stockpile, if you can't get fresh foods or you can't replace the foods that you have now, or maybe they become unaffordable. You can look for all kinds of options of foods that you could have on hand. While you're doing your pantry challenge, make sure that you're utilizing all of the food that you bought. You don't want to waste anything. If there's a little bit of vegetables left, you can put it into the freezer in a little container. Keep adding more at the end of the week. You can make a soup out of those. Toss them into a quick stir fry. Try to use up every single bite of food that you bought, and so that we don't waste. That's part of the problem in America. People waste about 24% of the foods that they buy. Think of the money you could have. If you look at what your food budget is, think if 24% of that was cash you could put back in your pocket or add into more prepping supplies. Wouldn't that be nice? So make a goal to do a pantry challenge, to use up the foods that you have in your prepper pantry, because your pantry should always be a working pantry. You should be working your way through it. You should be using those foods, rotating, and replacing those foods. If you're just building your stockpile but you aren't utilizing any of those foods, it tends to become a burden and it's not useful. Make a pantry challenge, go through those prepping supplies, those prepper pantry food storage stockpile items, try some creative meals. I have a lot of videos on my channel of different ways that I use the foods in my pantry that can be meals in a bag, pantry clean out recipes. There's all kinds of easy ways to use up the canned and packaged foods so that you can rotate those foods and figure out ways to use them. And then remember, only store foods that you enjoy eating, that you're willing to eat. Don't buy food just because it's cheap. You want to go to your pantry and have foods that you enjoy eating. Why would you want to go there and find foods no one likes when you could have spent the same money buying foods that somebody does want to eat? Then be creative with the foods that you have. Figure out, how can I mix them together? How can I disguise them? How can I turn them into something different so that even if it's just beans and rice, it doesn't seem like the same beans and rice every day. I can change it up with tomato sauces, spices, seasonings. There's all different ways to change, disguise, and enhance the foods that we have. They don't have to be expensive for us to have a lot of variety in our prepping pantry and our food storage meals. Wouldn't that be great if you could make a goal to even 1 day a week just eat out of your prepper pantry, or 1 whole week a month just eat out of your pantry? You can make those goals, you can put them into a part of your life cycle, into your menu planning, into your regular scheduled meal ideas. I know that's something I did when my kids were little. We used to do adventure nights, and we'd say, oh, every Monday, whatever night it was, we'd say, we're gonna try a different cuisine. And it could be, today we'll try some Chinese food. Next week we'll try some Mexican food. The next week we'll try making Italian meals. And we learned a lot about different types of foods. They were more than willing then to try different flavors. And we could also use that time to cook together and learn a little bit about different cultures. And it's also a great way to get them to try foods that maybe they're not going to otherwise. There are a lot of different ways to figure out how to use the foods that we have. Don't just let them languish. Make your food storage stockpile useful to you while times are good, because then it's even more valuable if we face hard times ahead. Let us know in the comments below, what kind of meals did you make? How did you enjoy doing a Prepper Pantry challenge? And can you continue to set a goal to maybe do it once a month? I hope you'll like my video, share my video, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.